What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Buy Sell Cars TV. Today we're up in Leeds. I've come to pick up another Volkswagen Golf from BCA. So rather than getting the car delivered, I thought I'll pick it up myself. Reason being, I'm heading to Birmingham later on today, so I thought rather than going to Birmingham from Reading, get the train to Leeds, drive down to Birmingham and then head home after. So we're nearly here now. I'm going to walk over to the car, check it out, film it for you guys and carry on with the video. So I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, it's time to tip it down, so I'm going to be quick with this. Bodywork wise, we're looking pretty good. We've got a little bit of a scuff on the front bumper, that's not too concerning. A little bit of a mark again over here on the rear quarter on the bumper. I don't know if that could sand, and nah, I don't think it will. But do you know what? I'm not fussed about that. I think I knew about that already anyway. But for the age of the car, the condition is really, really good so far. As we go to the back, again, really, really good. Can't really fault much on the car in terms of the body. Rear quarter, a little bit of a scratch. I think we'll be able to T-cut that out. Nothing major. But overall, really, really impressed, I think. Let's check out the interior. So as you can see, condition-wise, it's not too bad. You know, there is a bit of wear to the steering wheel. It's just really dirty in here, to be honest. It's things that can get cleaned from a valet. Not end of the world, guys. Really, it's not end of the world. Overall condition's pretty good. It's just it needs a good old clean. We have got a brake pad light on the dash over there, so I need to get that checked out. Probably just need some new pads. Sometimes it's if people have replaced the pad but haven't replaced the sensor that goes with it. But apart from that, just needs a good old valet, I think. Let's check out the rear seats as well. Same situation, really. Condition-wise is good. Really is a bit dirty around here, especially down there. It is a bit of a shame. Just needs a good old clean, to be honest. It is a bit of a shame, you know, the car is in such dirty condition, but it is expected. It's not a lot of money to rectify. It's just a shame that people really let their cars get into that sort of state, because it's not a lot of money to get things like that rectified, and it makes such a big difference. And you know, driving a clean car, it feels so much more fresh. So not end of the world. We're going to get it sorted anyway. So let's jump in. Let's go for a drive, because there was a little noise that I heard as I just pulled the car around the corner. I don't know what it is, but hopefully I'm 200 miles away from home. Fingers crossed it's going to get me back. So let's jump in, set the cameras up, and I'll see you in a second. Right, guys, you joined me on the M1. We've just set off from Leeds. Had to pull over, get some fuel in the car because it was pretty low, and one of the tyres was looking a bit low as well, so I just got all the tyre pressures correct on the car. Another thing which is really important, guys, tyre pressures just in general, but obviously if you are doing a long drive back, just check your tyres. These were on all over the place. There was 15 psi, 21, none of them were matching, and obviously one was quite low. So it is really important to make sure you do check that. If anything, when you check your water and oil as well, just check the tyres. You know, while we're touching on oil and water, I couldn't check it on this car, so I went to open the bonnet, but it's not, it opens, but it go to grab the lever and lift it, it's not budging. So I thought, do you know what, I don't want to break anything while I'm 200 miles away from home, so I left it, I closed the bonnet again. I'll get that looked into when I get back home. But first impressions on the car, there is a little noise coming. You won't hear it now, we're on the motorway. At steady speeds is perfectly fine, but more so when you're pulling off. I don't know if it's clutch related, drive shaft related, or if there's just some broken anti-roll bar that's flapping around. It's hard to say at the moment because the car does drive very nice. It's just sort of at first, second gear, maybe even a little bit of third, under certain loads, you hear a little bit of a wobbling noise. I can't explain it, but I'll get it checked out. It is one of those things, guys, you know, when you are buying cars blind, you know, these are the sort of things that you won't pick up on when you're buying the blind. That's why I always say it's so important that your buying is correct. You know, the price point you're entering to buy the car, you need to factor in any potential costs, which I did. So, you know, fingers crossed it's not going to be anything crazy, but even in a worst case scenario, I'll be okay. So why did I buy another Golf? Well, obviously you've probably seen by now that I've done a video on a black 1.6 FSI Golf, which I picked up from my local car auction. I had a lot of interest in it. It went pretty quickly in a couple of days, and during that time I had a lot of interest in the car, a lot of people calling even after the car had sold. It's supply and demand, guys. If the demand's there, you need to replenish that stock and get something similar. Now this car is a 1.4 FSI, so slightly different. It's a 5-speed manual instead of the 6-speed, and obviously it's 1.4, so slightly underpowered comparison to the 1.6. But overall, they drive pretty similar. Mileage wise, it's near enough the same. We're on 104,000. It's a 2005 car as well, so it's a good car to replenish that stock with, knowing that the demand for that mileage, that type of car was there. So this car should do quite well. A couple of things I'm going to need to get done to this car. Obviously, the first thing we've spoken about now is getting the bonnet looked at, and at the same time, I'll have to get this noise looked at, whatever it may be, because I can't sell a car in that state. It's not fit, you know. It's not in a state that I would want to sell the car to the customer. So that will get rectified. At the same time, it needs an MOT as well. So the MOT is a bit short. It was a bit of a risk in that sense as well, but again, it just reflects on the price I paid for the car. But these are quite good cars generally, so I'm not too worried about getting a car like this MOT'd. And either way, you know, as a car trader, it's kind of a good thing, because when you get your cars MOT'd, that is probably the best point of during those 12 months where the car is going to be in its best roadworthy condition. So as a trader, you're sort of giving yourself less headache, in the sense of if you're selling a car to the customer, you're less likely to have any issues with, you know, warranty or comebacks, because the car is in its best condition in terms of roadworthiness. So at the same time that the car gets an MOT, I'm going to get the car serviced as well. Generally, that is something I like to do hand in hand. If I'm getting a brand new MOT, getting a service done adds value to the car. It makes the car stand out with others being advertised as well. So that is what I'm going to get done. And I will also need to get something else done now. This is a bit of a thing now with car auctions I found. So the engine management lights just popped on. Don't know what that could be, because the car does drive fine. But obviously, you know, the dealer or the auction, you know, I'm not saying they've definitely done this. It just suggests that the fact that the engine management light was off and has now coincidentally turned on, and it's happened a couple of times. Yeah, it's not ideal now. That's not what we like to see, an engine management light come on so soon on the way back. But the car drives fine. Oh, Dave, why am I even laughing about this? This is the thing, guys, when you're buying from auctions and you're not test driving the cars. Things like this happen. This is a further expense now that I'll have to get rectified before selling the car. And we haven't even touched on the final thing that needs to get done to this car in terms of repairs. So obviously I mentioned the brake pad light is on. Now the brakes feel really good. They bite very well. So it may just be the brake pads were changed, but they didn't change the sensor at the same time. I can't see the brake pads because of the hubcaps at the moment, but when it goes for an MOT, that's something which will get checked anyway. So if they need to get replaced, that's when they'll get replaced anyway. Again, things like this add value to the car. You know, it's a selling point. New service, new MOT, new brake pads. Engine management light, not so much a selling point, because that's just a fault with the car that will need to be rectified. But again, I got the car at a very good price, and I'm still likely to make a very good profit on this car, even though I'm going to have to spend a little bit of money on getting these things rectified. So, like I say, it just comes down to your buying, guys. That's the most important thing. So I'm sure some of you are going to be thinking, you're absolutely mad. You're traveling 200 miles to go pick up a Golf. How much money are you going to make on that car? You know, is it even worth you traveling that far? My answer is yes, this is a worthy trip for me. If it wasn't worth my while, I wouldn't do it. Simple as that. It would cost me near enough £300 to get this car delivered. Now, in travel costs and fuel, I'm looking at around £80. So I'm already saving £220. So if you have got time, don't just sit around, save yourself some money and go pick up some cars. So as I touched on earlier as well, you know, the state of the car it's not very clean at all. So the final thing that I'm going to need to get done is a deep clean. I'm going to drop it to the valeters, let them do their magic, and you'll be shocked at the difference it makes. You know, what I'll try to do is as well, I'll try to put some before and afters as well, so you get to see the transformation. I know a lot of you like that. It really does show you the difference in what a valet makes. And like I say, guys, I can't reiterate this point over and over again in every video, but 40-50 quid for a deep clean valet transforms the interior of the car from something which is filthy and you don't want to sit in, to a car that smells fresh, looks clean, looks new. It adds much more value than what you're spending. So I can't reiterate that point enough, guys. That's the final thing that I'm going to need to get done. Then it'll be ready for sale. It's going to be around the £2,000 mark again. You know, especially the older used cars, they've really gone up in price. Things are settling down a little bit, but you know, used cars such as these, you know, very economical, practical, low maintenance. They're still commanding a good premium. So around £2,000, this is what this is going to go up for. And I don't see it sticking around for a long time. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's shown you some of the risks that are involved when you are buying cars from auctions. Things don't always go to plan. Unexpected things do happen, like engine lights turning on. Overall, I'm still pretty happy about this purchase. I'm going to make a tidy profit on this one. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm getting stuff done. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.